Hey everybody, today I want to save you a lot of time, frustration, and money spent on your therapist wondering if you've lost your mind. That's because today we're going to talk about how to fix really annoying problems with perfectly looking Makefiles. Hey everybody, it's been a while. Sorry about that, but it's good to be back. So just the other night, a student contacted me about an issue, and I think we need to talk about it because if you work with Makefiles long enough, this is going to happen to you. So say you're working on a programming project using a Makefile like this one, and it doesn't work. And you ask your friend to look at it, and they say, hey, it looks good to me. So let's see if you can see it. Exhibit A, the Makefile that works. Exhibit B, the Makefile that doesn't. Can you see the difference? Look harder. You still can't see it? No, I know you can't. I can't. I know what the problem is from years of experience, but it's not something that you can easily see. At least not when the code is presented to us like this. These Makefiles look identical, and that's why this problem makes newcomers to Make so crazy, because everything looks fine, and you spend hours pulling your hair out if you have hair, and thinking you or your computer or Make, someone clearly has lost their minds. So the problem is Make's relationship with whitespace, with spaces, tabs, and other characters that don't have a symbol and are hard to see. Now, you all know that I like Make, I use Make, at least for simple builds, but I don't like this. Look, someday you are going to be developing a system, and you're going to be making design decisions, and at some point, you are going to say to yourself, wouldn't it be cool if we used whitespace, spaces or tabs or something and just stop there, don't do it. Turn around, go the other way, don't do it. And you Python enthusiasts that are out there, that are awkwardly looking at your feet right about now, don't you think I don't see you? This problem is not just a Make problem, although that's all we're gonna focus on for today. Someday we'll come back to Python, so you're not off the hook. Okay, so if you learn nothing from this video, learn this. When you are looking at an issue with a Makefile, and the Makefile looks perfect, so you understand the rules, they seem like they're all working properly. If it's still giving you errors, think about whitespace. But so let's go back into the code and look at how we actually fix these Makefile issues. So here we do have a few different options that I'm aware of. So in this example, I have two identical projects. The only thing that's different between them is that the Makefiles are a little different, and those are the same exact Makefiles that I just showed you, where we couldn't see any visible difference. But you notice there is a difference if I run Make on the working side. This all runs, and this may look familiar. This is actually just a version of my COVID-19 simulator. I'll link in the description to that video if you missed it. But over here, using the identically looking but different Makefile, when I run Make, I get a bunch of errors. So that's not okay. Now, when you run into problems with your Makefile, there are a few options you have. So one option is you can type make-d, and that is going to produce a lot of output. Actually, it's a lot of output. Now, I actually do think it's a good idea once in your life to trace through all of this debug output. It's pretty exhaustive, but it does help you see how Make goes through its rules and how it searches. It can be kind of insightful. In normal practice, I don't normally do this because I've got things to do, and this didn't necessarily answer my question about what's wrong with my Makefile. So there are other options. I can type make debug equals B. That means just like the basic debug information. And that gives me a little bit less. And it is telling me, I can see that it has something to do with my OBJ target. So that may point me in the right direction. I can also use make-p. That's going to print out all of my rules and variables. And you can see that this prints out also a ton of information. So if I'm interested in OBJ, I might say something like, I might run it through grep. And that's just going to show me the rules that are related to that variable. But again, this doesn't really, I'm not seeing any problem with this. This doesn't look wrong. And the reason, once again, is because this is a whitespace issue. And so we still haven't found a solution to this. Now, the solution really is, there's a few different ways that we could approach this. They all boil down to the same thing. And that is finding a way to visualize, to make visible your whitespace. Now, the easiest thing I think is, so let's go back into our editor, and many editors like VS Code, which is the one I'm using, allow you to come down in the menu and tell it to render whitespace. So what this means is that it's now going to actually give us some output for our whitespace. Now, this means that our tabs have little arrows. This means we get little dots for spaces. And all of a sudden we can see something with our OBJ right here. And that is, we can see that there is an extra space right here after the obj variable is declared. That, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly the problem here, is that that variable is getting an extra space shoved on the end. Seriously, that's the problem. A formerly invisible little space, and that throws everything off because that variable is used in some other rules like this one, and they're all getting thrown off by that extra space. Okay, so I said there were multiple ways we could address this. What are some others? We could use a hex editor, for example, or just something like hex dump. So I can say here, I can just dump the contents of my makefile. And this is not a very convenient way to read my makefile, but if I know I'm looking for obj, I can just say, oh, look, right here, yep, there is an extra space right there, so I can see the white space there. I don't recommend going this route. It seems a little heavy-handed for something this simple. Also, after this happens to you once or twice, you're probably going to develop a nervous tick where you basically go through your code every once in a while, just checking to see if there's any extra white space at the end of any of your lines that might be getting thrown into a variable. You learn really quick to avoid that. But yeah, the point is, once you remove that space, now we come back over here and we try to make it and everything works great. Okay, that space was the single problem we were running into. And of course, white space isn't the source of all Makefile problems. Sometimes students just don't understand how Makefiles work. They specify their targets or their rules incorrectly. But in my experience, white space does seem to be the source of most of the I'm going crazy sort of issues that cause people hours and hours of banging their heads against the screen. Because they've double checked, they've had a friend look at it, and everything looks perfect. So hopefully this helps you. If you are new to Make, please do check out. I have some other videos that are a little more introductory and take you through some of the basics. Let me know if you think that I missed something and there's other topics related to Make or build systems that you want to see. Or see my other videos like these that I post usually weekly. I try to get them out weekly to help make your computing journey less frustrating and to add some joy to your life. Subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss my next video where we talk about semaphores or ePoll or some other system call or interprocess communication technique or whatever it's on. If you don't want to miss it, subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.